Hey, welcome to the show, The Art of Healing, where I interview ordinary people that have overcome extraordinary circumstances. These are their stories. Today's guest is Gabby. She speaks with us about her struggle with addiction and the loss of her daughter. She also speaks with us about how her art has helped change her and how she sells candles to help other mothers and families that are struggling with the loss of a child. I hope you really enjoy this episode. Gabby is an artist, a mother, a recovered addict, and of course, my friend. I would like to welcome her to the show today. Welcome, Gabby.
Hi, well, thank you.
Are you excited to be here?
Oh, definitely. I'm actually really excited. I can't stop smiling.
Yay! I'm so glad to have you here. I bet this is going to be a great interview. I'm really excited as well.
Oh, me too.
So today we're going to be going into a few different things. One of them going to be your past addiction. And what was that drug of choice that you were addicted to?
So, my drug of choice would be methamphetamine. That was my addiction.
Yikes. I've
Yeah.
been there with you, sis. I mean, I more so used it in an abusive relationship where I was afraid to sleep, but it was still an addiction nonetheless, and it's very hard to stop using that type of thing.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
so I'm very proud of you for how far you've come and that you were able to leave all that behind. That's really awesome.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Definitely.
So, I know we kind of talked a little bit about this, but when you're the first time that you ever did use, did you feel like you were pressured into the situation?
So, it wasn't necessarily like pressured. It was more of like, hey, try this. It'll wake you up. And I'm like, oh. Okay, I didn't really like know anything about it or like knew what it was. It was just like, here, try it. So I did. It wasn't like peer pressure or anything like that.
Okay, so it was more of just you didn't really have any idea of what you were getting into.
Yeah, basically.
So that's still rough when I mean my my drug of choice was heroin, and that's about how it was with me. Um, my boyfriend at the time said, "Well, if you're sick to your stomach, this will make you feel better," which is the case if you're going through like opiate withdrawals. But if
Hmm.
you're sick to your stomach and you take some opiates, it's gonna make you feel even more sick to your stomach. But I was like, sure, I'll try it. I had no idea either. I just tried it because they said it would do something, and I thought, okay, well, I need that something right now, so I'll try it.
Yep, yep. That's how it was with me too. I was like, oh, okay, I need it. Let's try it.
So once you started using, what was the thing that kept you using?
So once I started using, I was living with my sister at the time because I didn't have anywhere up here to live where I am now. And I asked her about it, and I think once I asked her, she kind of picked up on it that I was using. And then she's like, "You can either come back, clean up, or don't come back at all." And I was like, I choose not to come back. And that was my fault. I should have just went back, but I didn't. And then once she kicked me out and threw all my stuff outside, that pushed me in deeper to continue to go because then I like burned my bridge with her and then my aunt and then she passed away and then it was just hard and then I was just using it to cover up the pain.
Yeah, I went through similar circumstances where I started using technically because I was prescribed it Vicodin, and I was in a lot of pain, but then it went more into um, I started making people upset with the way my behavior was because of the drug use. And then they didn't want anything to do with me. So then that pushed me further into it because I felt like, well, if I don't, like, I don't deserve any of this, so I should just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah,
And
yeah, exactly.
then I lost a few different people, a couple people overseas, and one person due to an overdose, which you would think would scare you and make you want to stop doing that type of thing, but it didn't. It just made me go deeper into it. So I know how easy that is to just kind of let it take you down farther and farther into a hole once you're already in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But what was it that finally was able to get you out of that hole?
So I think what was my breaking, I had many breaking points actually. One of them was with the partner that I'm with now, to where like I stayed up for so long and then I smoked a little bit of weed and I went crazy, like actual crazy, um like
Psychosis.
spiritual crazy. Yeah, like where I was like doing exorcist stuff. It was really scary. That was a breaking point. And then after that, I slept for a good while, and then I called my dad. I told him, "Hey, I'm all messed up and I'm on meth." And then he's like, "Oh, you need to get off of that. It's not as good as it was when I was on it." And that just pushed me in further. And then I was like, and then it just started to get worse. I started to get mean. I was a very mean person. I put myself in the hospital a couple times for like stitches, and it wasn't good. Like, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a mean person. Like, I'm loving, I'm kind, I'm caring all the time. And I was like, I don't want to be like this anymore. I'm tired of burning my bridges, not knowing who I can talk to when I need to. So it was like, I'm done being this person so I can have my family back and I can talk to people where they don't judge me and they're like, oh, she's all fucked up. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, I know it kind of has to be a lot of things sometimes to get you out of something that's so bad. It can't just be like, well, it was this one thing. It has to be a lot of reasons to really push you out of that hole when you're in it.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
it's very easy when you start losing people and they just don't see you as the same person anymore when you start becoming a completely different person because addiction made me a very angry person too. It made me very spiteful. It made me do a lot of things that I would, in my right mind, I would never even think of doing, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you do stupid things.
So it's a really hard thing to get off of, but I'm proud of you for making it this far. How long have you actually been clean for?
So I've been clean for 2 years. It'll be 3 years next Valentine's Day.
Woohoo! That's so exciting.
I know, right?
Hey, one step at a time gets you really far.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And every year I'm on my seventh year now, and every year just keeps getting better and better, and you like stop thinking about all of that type of thing, and it's just it'll get easier as time goes on, and I know it's you already know that, but
Yeah. I know it at first it was really hard to like try to be clean, but with the job that I had, it really helped because I didn't want to like I worked for the senior citizens at the old folks home, and
oh,
I didn't
cool.
want to be like all messed up in front of them because that's just I just feel like that's just mean
Yeah.
and like cruel. So I was like they really helped keep me clean because I had that job for a while, and seeing all those old people and them laughing and having a good life, before they pass just made me happy. I was like, I want to be like that. I want to laugh and feel my emotions and not be angry about everything.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you say that because in a similar circumstance, like I was admitted to a nursing home because I got really sick, and while I was in the nursing home was when I was trying to get off opiates. Like the doctors were trying to wean me down off the medications that I was on. And it was like a lot of being around those people that really helped me too. Like when you get to see people that are, they've been through so much more than you could ever have imagined, and they're still smiling at the end of the day. It really makes you want to keep going and keep smiling and to get to that
Yeah,
point.
it definitely gives you a positive impact. It really does.
Well, I'm glad that we both had that, you know, that circumstance that we got to be around those type of people when we needed it the most.
Definitely, definitely. So thankful.
So I know this is probably going to be a little bit of the hard part, but can we talk a little bit more about your daughter?
Yeah, yeah. So my daughter was my only firstborn child, and she was a stillborn at 27 weeks. And my whole pregnancy was during COVID. So every checkup that I had, my partner couldn't be with me because only one person was allowed in the hospital at a time. So throughout the whole time, it was just me going in by myself, and it was scary because it was like my first time being pregnant, first time for everything, and just being in there. I remember her first ultrasound. When I saw her, she waved at me. She had her hand up, she was waving, and I was like, this is the moment. This is the moment. I'm a mom right now. And it was so crazy just to see that. And then like every day it was going good, and then like your 20-week scan, you get blood work done and to make sure your baby doesn't have like autism and different genetic diseases and stuff like that. Well, here at the hospital, they had numerous OBGs coming in and out of the hospital at the time, so no one really was paying attention to my paperwork. And when it came back, my baby tested positive for trisomy 18, which is an extra chromosome in the gene genetics. So most babies with trisomy, they don't live to be as old, but some of them they do with extensive health care, needed all the time. And when I saw, because I'm in a bunch of support groups for it, and when I saw that some of the babies make it to like 8 or 10, and then that's it, that's the end, I was like, I'm kind of proud that God took the baby and she didn't have to suffer. But it also upsets me because I'm like, that was my first baby, and we only had a couple more weeks before we actually got to deliver and take her home. It was sad. But the whole pregnancy, I knew she was a girl. I knew the name I wanted. I knew what I wanted and how I wanted it. I definitely wanted a baby shower, and it was just like I prepared for this future and then had it wiped like from me. Like there was nothing. Like a stick just broke, and that was it. And Daniel, my partner, he wasn't even there when I went in for the ultrasound. The nurse is like, "Oh, I can't find a heartbeat." And I'm like, that's weird. Like that makes your heart race when they say that. And they're not supposed to tell you that. And then she's like, "Let me go get the doctor." And the doctor came in and was like, she probably don't know what she's doing. She's new. He's like, babies like to hide, so let's see. So he was looking, he took him a good couple minutes, and then he's like, let's go get an ultrasound just to be sure. So I went into another room and got an ultrasound, and he's like, yeah, there's no heartbeat. And he's like, let's go send you down to urology just to make sure to identify. And I was crying the whole way down there, like all by myself, crying. I was all alone. I'm like, this can't be happening to me right now by myself. And I couldn't get a hold of Daniel because his phone was off and he was at work. So it was like, it was really hard that moment. It was super freaking hard. I remember being in urology, just laying on the table looking at my ultrasound technician, like just crying, and she's looking, and then she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like, just tell me, is my baby dead or alive? Is she dead or alive? And she's like, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I'm not obligated to. And I just started bawling even more. She's like, okay, okay. She's like, you're just hurting me. She says, no, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry, but there is no heartbeat. Your baby didn't make it. And I just remember like my heart, everything stopped in that moment. Like the whole world, everything froze. I cried. I felt my heart break. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was the worst break ever. Like you go through a relationship and boys break your heart, but being pregnant and losing your baby, that really breaks your heart. It like takes a piece out of you. It really hurts.
I can imagine. I That must be the hardest thing that you've ever gone through and that you probably will ever go through.
It's like I'm like every day is a challenge. Like I felt like getting clean wasn't as hard as grieving a child that I didn't get to meet. Like that's hard. That's definitely harder.
So, has that been, you've had no struggle with trying to keep clean throughout all of this? You,
No, I didn't like once my mind, I'm pretty good at like sticking to what I want, and once I've got it in my mind, it's set. Like
yeah.
I haven't I haven't like thought about it, wanted to do it, like nothing like that as much as after after I lost the baby, I thought that was God's way of punishing me for what I've done when I was high, like all those bad things. It's a good and bad scale, and if you do all these bad, you get this good, and then for what it has to be taken back. So it's like that kind of helped, and then I was kind of mad because I was like, well, I fucked up, and this is why I couldn't have a baby. But after a while, it was like, um, I don't know how to explain it. Getting clean for me was, I felt easy in a sense. Like coming down, going through all the pain, that hurt. But for me, that hurt was like, this is what it takes to push you to be a successful person, to be the person you want it to be, is you have to go through the pain to be that person. So it's just like finding a diamond in a rock and having to scrape all that nasty stuff off to see the gold or the bright shine in that diamond.
Well, you're doing a good job of it. I know that all of this has been so very hard on you, and we've talked a little bit about it before, but I know that it's really difficult on you, and I'm really proud of you once again for getting through all of this and making it through every single day. I acknowledge you for that because I know that it's a struggle for you every day just to, kind of get through without your daughter. But just know that she is always there with you and she never left you. She'll always be there in your heart.
Yeah, it's hard, but I'm thankful for the people that I have in my corner, like my partner. He means a lot to me. And then his kids too, they help out a lot just being there and being involved, which is nice. So,
So you still get to have a family.
yeah, I still get to have my family, which is nice. I love my family, my little family.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you all have that. You seem like a nice, happy family.
Yeah, definitely. There are times.
Well, everybody has that, so there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. But when you do, um, I know that you kind of have worked through some of your stress and that with using arts and crafts. So what is it that you do exactly?
So I used to make dream catchers, especially when I was coming down, because putting your effort, like having that distraction for when you want to be high and you do it to something else, it really helps. It helps you not crave that anymore. So I started making dream catchers because they're technical, you need to put a lot of thought process into it and not pull so hard because the strings will snap and make sure that everything's wrapped nicely. So that took a lot of time. So I was like, I did that, and that was fun for a while. I did that for a little while. I made a bunch of them. I made little ones, I made pretty good sized ones. I made ones that are shaped like a heart. So I was like, oh, these are fun. And then it just kind of died down, and I found new hobbies. Like now I play softball. I'll be playing softball, and then we make candles. So we do a lot of candles, and that takes a lot of time too.
So does Daniel help you with that?
Yeah, Daniel, if I can't make the candles, Daniel will be there and he'll do the candles. Like for the event that we have today, he made all the candles for it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are what a team. That's amazing. If only every
Yeah.
couple could have something like that that could connect them together.
It's fun. It's definitely fun.
So, I know that you have special candles or something for the baby.
Yeah.
Could you explain a little
Yeah,
bit about that?
actually, I have an example. You want to see it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I've got a couple examples. Let
Okay,
me be right back.
awesome. I'm ready.
Okay, so one of them's in the car, but I've got the other one. Okay, so with the baby loss, I turned it into a business and I named my business after her. So my daughter's name is Marie Emmerich Fowler, and I chose Marie and Emmerich after the two biggest people that made the impact in my life, which would be my aunt and my grandmother. My grandmother's middle name is Emmerich, and my aunt's middle name is Marie. So that's what I named my daughter.
That's so sweet.
So with moms that go through losses like stillborn, like I did, or even as simple as a miscarriage, or just if the baby even goes home and then doesn't stay home, we will make candles for those babies and those moms and their families that have the baby's name on it. So, like, this is one of the candles that we made. This mom had two babies that passed, and one of them was Anthony Michael, and the other name was Zelda Rain, and they called her Zelly. So, this is what they look like, just the
Oh,
little ones. And then I have other ones, but they're in my car right now. And
oh,
they're
that's kind of
cute. They're shaped like I don't know, they're just so little and they have corks on top of them and a little tag with feet prints and then the baby's name on the other side. It's just super cute.
Oh, that's adorable. So,
Yeah.
if anybody wanted to get a hold of you to help you out with your business and purchasing anything, where would I direct them to?
So I've got a Facebook page and I've also got a website. So my Facebook page would be www.facebook.com/Marie Emmerich Candles. And then my website is capital M-E, and candles.com. And you can get a hold of me through my website or my Facebook. We're always active and we're always right back. So
That's awesome. I'm so excited for you guys to have that business and to be able to help other moms. It's wonderful that you can take your pain and what you've gone through and use that to help other moms and families through the process.
definitely. We sent just recently we almost sent over 300 comfort candles around the United States to mothers and families of a loss.
That's amazing. Wow, 300.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. One in eight women suffer from infertility, which is me, and one in four women suffer from like stillborn, miscarriage, and stuff like that. There's a lot. It's
Oh,
a
good
lot of
Lord, you're
women.
scaring me now.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm not pregnant, but I want to be someday, so I guess I'll find out. And if anything ever happens, I know I'll have you there to help me.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be in your corner.
That's awesome. Okay, so I just wanted to ask you a few final questions, if that would be okay.
Yeah.
These are just kind of general questions I like to ask. The first one would be if you had unlimited money and resources and you could use it in any way to help the world, how would you do it?
All right. So, to help the world, I don't know. I would want to show everyone the impact they can do by like doing their own gardening and cutting down less trees, helping the environment more. I feel like all that money would be huge and useful for people to learn how we once were, like how natives, how they always plant and forage for their food and how healthy they were compared to us now today.
Yeah,
Like having all that money just to help people realize, that it was better back then than it is now kind of thing would be fun. That
yeah,
would be fun.
we really are just like destroying our bodies with all the things that we eat and drink and the chemicals we're around, and it's just it's really crazy to think about like all the different ways that you can get sick and hurt yourself just from, I mean, eating food of all things, you know.
Exactly, exactly. With mine, for my body doesn't metabolize sugar, so I have like insulin resistance, so my body won't it'll put off when I eat sugar, it'll put off insulin and then put off another hormone for like it's a male hormone to encounter the sugar that I put in my body just because I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which means I have little cysts around my ovaries and they won't produce the normal feminine hormones that I need to be able to function my body properly.
Oh wow, man,
Yeah, so
you're
I can't have babies because of it too.
oh really? Did you find this out
Yeah.
like later on? Did you end up getting it later on or?
So I found out that I had it um after the baby died and I didn't have my period for a couple months. I think I almost had it for about a year without no period. And I was like, something is way wrong here. I would have had my period by now and it was just really off. It didn't bleed for a while. And then I just went in and the doctors were like, oh, this is what you have, and then this is what you need. They gave me metformin and progesterone, and the metformin was like supposed to lower my sugars so I don't intake too much sugar, but it made me crave sugar. It did the opposite. So
Oh,
it could have made me diabetic. So it was crazy. So Daniel, my partner, he's got me on all kinds of stuff. So I've been taking all of that, all natural stuff.
hey, well, it's good. Anything that you can try that would help is awesome.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Okay, so next question. If you could tell the world one very important thing, all of the world, if you could tell everybody in the world one very important thing, what would it be?
Mm. You are stronger than you realize. And the only reason why you're going through what you're going through is because it's a step to show you that you are a strong person and you are strong-willed.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love that. Okay, so let's see. Got I almost forgot one question for you. I forgot my paper here today. Uh, my final question for you would be, what is your definition of growth?
My definition of growth. Um, I don't know. That's a good question. Let's see. My definition of growth. I think my definition of growth would be to watch yourself blossom from like every step. So every step leads you to somewhere better in life. So if you start off with like eating healthy and then next step is exercising, that's growth. You're growing doing that. And becoming a healthier person is growing and just becoming like putting yourself in new situations or getting yourself out of old ones. That's growth, you know. Every step you take, you're growing. That's what I think.
That's awesome. I love that answer. You did perfect. Great.
Thanks.
Well, it was really, really awesome to have you on the show. It was wonderful to meet you on video and finally talk
Yeah.
to you kind of in person. And I really hope that everybody will enjoy this conversation and learn a lot. I know I sure did.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I hope so. It kind of makes me nervous. I gotta go back and watch it now.
Oh, you'll be fine. You did awesome.
So,
Well,
well,
it was
thanks for
great to
having
have
me.
you. Yeah, you have a great day.
You too. Bye, Julia.
Bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. If you're interested in purchasing any candles from Gabby, please check the link in the description. Make sure to rate, like, or follow on any platform that you are listening to this on. And also make sure, of course, to have a great day. Thanks for watching.